Two Drink Cinema! Cheers. Two Drink Cinema.
Cheers.
It's a great intro.
It is. I just made that up on the
It's a great
spot.
intro.
As well.
We just
I'm the John Williams of podcast intros.
so episode
We'll just ignore that.
episode 3, the 4th release of Two Drink Cinema. We hope you've been enjoying everything that we have released for your consummation, not consummation. Consumption so far. We're 6 drinks in now, as you
Can
may
you tell?
tell. This week we're joined by Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt. Wacky wiki, waka waka wiki.
And we're going to talk about Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us on all of those things and DM us if there's anything that you would like to get us to discuss. And Austin Powers is the one of those things.
Yeah. So we randomly watched Austin Powers after a comedy gig that we went to.
Yes. Because we were in the mood for more comedy.
Because we were like, what's a movie we can just watch? And we just watched Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery,
first,
to be
yeah.
specific, 1997.
The first one, yes.
And one of my first thoughts is that Elizabeth Hurley is very pretty.
Yeah, and then my thought after that was, what happened to Liz Hurley?
And then we realised it was Shane Warne.
Warne, yeah.
So Liz Hurley, Mike Myers, and Mike Myers.
And Mike Myers and
Seth Green.
And
Frau Farvisner.
Yes.
And a lot of vagina.
Yes.
It's and my first thought or one of my major thoughts as we watched it was that it's not. It's a very well written movie, but also has the physical jokes.
Yep.
And the silly jokes.
Yep.
But also has some clever writing in the jokes.
Yes.
But also some just blatant. There's a character named A Lot of Vagina.
Yes. And then it is it's good writing of a movie on its own.
Yes.
And then it's also good writing of a piss take of James Bond.
Yes.
Octopussy, A Lot of Vagina.
Yeah. And it is a spoof film without just being a spoof film, but done very well, like Scary Movie 1 and 2.
Yes.
Less so like the Scary Movies.
Although 3
after
is
that.
better than 2.
I'm not sure I've watched 3.
Well, then, yeah, there you
Get
go.
on to Scary Movie 3. Add
So
that to the list.
Yeah, so 3, it goes 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. 5 is
Okay.
terrible. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. But just for those listening
Austin
out there,
Powers, International
there is a
Man of
Scary
Mystery.
Movie 5.
If you haven't watched it, you should have, and particularly because we will have already tweeted telling you to watch it, and Facebooked and Instagrammed telling you to watch it. So
behave and watch it.
behave. It's not an all-star cast. It really is Mike Myers
yeah.
and other people.
Because because when we were watching it and thinking it, now you think, oh, Liz Hurley, she's a huge celebrity.
All she'd done before that was Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's, as you said, she's very pretty. And she does fit in that role very well.
Yes.
And that's it. So there you go.
So there is the funny jokes like A Lot of Vagina and Will Ferrell, who we forgot was Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I forgot Will Ferrell was in
playing
it.
Mustafa, falling into the fire pit and not dying.
Yeah.
Some of the jokes go on a little bit long.
Yeah, like it does, but then it is funny because it does kind of make fun of that later. You know, like in the, Mustafa and he's not dead and
Yes.
they try and kill him and he's still alive and they kill
Yep.
him again. He's still alive, try to
Yep.
kill him. Then there was another one that went on a bit long.
Was it the laughing? Or was it when Dr. Evil's telling Scott to zip it,
Yeah,
zip it?
it went
Zip
a
it.
little bit too long.
Yep.
But then later on when they kill the guy with the ill-tempered mutated sea bass.
Yeah. Liz Hurley goes,
Okay,
that's
enough.
enough.
Yeah,
and she
yep,
cuts him off.
okay.
So, and I think that's clever as well because her role is to be the sensible person
Yep.
next to Austin Powers.
Yes.
I remember when we watched it, we were a bit not surprised. We expected the jokes to have aged not so well.
Yeah.
In our current cancel culture
Yes.
times, I don't think there's much in Austin Powers that would be cancelled these days.
No, I don't think so either.
I think there's no. It's a very white cast,
Yeah, but
that was the 90s.
so is every James Bond movie.
Yeah.
So
And so I don't. I think that way it stands
it holds up. But then it's the same thing, that kind of referencing, that kind of set in the 90s referencing the 60s. I don't know. Then 30 years later, you're going to do a 2021 movie referencing the 90s. That's not going to have the same jokes.
Yeah, you can still make jokes about 90s nostalgia.
Yeah.
The Spice Girls and Happy Pants.
Happy Pants? What?
What would you make the jokes of about the 90s, like the 60s?
Y2K? That doesn't really make sense.
Y2K almost killing us all.
Like songs in the 90s not really making any sense at all, like Mbop and Blue, Dabba Dee.
Yeah, but that goes for other... That's all things.
That's true.
We're going to do another podcast about silly lyrics maybe one day. So that will go across the generations.
You know what I think it's interesting? It's basically Borat 20 years ago. If you think it's the same, it's
that style.
Everybody wanted to see it.
Yep.
And then everybody came out of the movie quoting everything.
Yep. Do I make you horny, baby?
Yeah. All that kind of stuff. I think it's probably going to age well, better than a Borat.
Borat 2
is terrible.
Is not great. But I find it really interesting, as an aside, that Sacha Baron Cohen did a Borat 2. Because times have changed a fair bit.
But also, if you're thinking of what Borat 1 was, then the political climate that he made Borat 2 in does make sense.
I haven't seen Borat 2. We're just going to call it Borat 2 because the very long title...
I'm not calling it Borat, the subsequent movie film,
whatever it is.
Kazakhstan.
So, but we're not talking about Borat. We might if I ever watch Borat 2.
It is funny watching Austin Powers. There are certain bits of it you're like, oh, I remember this bit exactly. Oh, I remember this bit exactly.
Yeah.
And
the
other bits
you're
like, oh, I don't remember that at all.
The quotable bits you remember.
Like, obviously...
And the trying to reverse the thing in the hallway.
Like you're in the Suez Canal in a boat.
Yeah,
kind of getting stuck.
Very topical reference. Good.
Yeah,
we should be on Have You Been Paying Attention?
Yeah, because I haven't been. I paid attention to that one thing.
All we know about 2021 is we had a 3-day lockdown and a block of the Suez Canal. It does, in your memory, seem to be a bunch of quotes with bits in between.
Yes. The other bit I don't remember as much from it was the kind of random little musical interludes in between bits.
Yeah, I don't... If you'd said, what do you remember about Austin Powers? I wouldn't say that. But when it came up, I was like, oh, yeah, this bit.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think for nostalgia, that's good.
Yes, I think so. And I think and obviously, like, one of the big things that everybody loved was the opening credits with him dancing in the street.
Yes.
To Soul Bossa Nova.
Soul Bossa Nova, which I remember playing in high school big band.
Yes, you did.
Great fun. There's a trombone there. I could play the start of it right now, maybe.
Nah.
Maybe.
Nah.
It's a plastic trombone.
It's a plastic trombone, okay.
It is, look. I can get it.
Great. No, please, okay.
Talk while I get... I'm not going to play it because
it's good. I was glad. Wop, wop. That's how it would sound.
That's it. That's
okay,
it.
there we go.
Trombone.
That'll come up on the bloopers reel.
No, that's staying in. Because I'm in charge of the editing.
There you go.
Austin Powers does stand up. I think if you like that style of movie, you could still watch it now.
And I think...
If you're that person that's watched all 11 of Adam Sandler's films on Netflix, you will like Austin Powers even now.
Yeah, and I think that it's one of those movies... Obviously, they were going to make a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, it did very well. it was very popular.
There's 25 now Bond films.
Yes.
So in order to piss take Bond, they had to make sequels.
Yes. With Felicity Shagwell.
Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah. And then
Austin Powers Goldmember, which is obviously your favourite. Yeah.
And also it's obviously a very easy, like it's an easy movie to make. You make the one and then the sequel again is easy because like the Bond films a bit,
you make it
the same
again.
Story.
Oh, and there's the same things. There's the Dr. Evil tells Scott to shush instead of zip it.
Yeah.
Frau Farbissner yells.
Yeah.
Mustafa dies again. He falls off the cliff in the car.
Yeah.
And the guy gets eaten and Austin Powers makes the joke about losing his head. And then in the second one, they do a similar thing. Yeah. They do pretty much the same joke, but it's about however Teeth?
that other guy dies.
Oh no, there's floss. The floss saves them in the first. The teeth is the joke in the first one.
I have bad teeth.
Yeah. I
don't know why I sounded like Prince Charles then.
But then you add the midget jokes.
Obviously, then the second movie brings Mini-Me and Fat Bastard.
Fat Bastard, the fat jokes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and the poo jokes. Because he drinks the poo. One bit I forgot about Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery was the steamroller bit.
Yes.
And that's a joke that does go on a bit long. It's funny, but it goes on a little bit.
And the other thing it goes on, when he first comes out of freezing and he
wheezes for a long time.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
Like,
I get that he wheezes for a very long time because he's been asleep for 30 years.
When you wake up the next morning, you pee for a long time.
But then the bit.
Yeah.
But then you have jokes like when he introduces Frau Farbissner and he says she founded the militant wing of the Salvation Army.
Yes.
Like, that's just a subtle, well-written joke.
Yeah.
That's just kind of sandwiched in between the fact that he had a sperm donor son that's Seth Green and the fact that Austin Powers weed for 5 minutes two scenes ago.
And then it's also like when Dr. Evil and Scott go to therapy.
Therapy with Carrie Fisher.
With Carrie Fisher as the, which is kind of ironic.
Yep. Well, it's method acting. She would have known what group therapy is like.
Yeah, exactly. And then he introduced himself.
R.I.P. Carrie Fisher also.
Yes.
Yep.
We'll pour one out.
We're going to do that every time we mention a dead actor.
Oh, gosh. When we watch older movies, that could take a while.
Some Like It Hot's coming, so that's going to be a long R.I.P.
Yes.
When they go to the therapy...
Yeah, they go to... And Dr. Evil introduces him. I was born to a Belgian, and it's just like... What does this make sense?
This little monologue of...
And I think it's a good balance. Sometimes you can tell which bits were actually scripted and some were definitely ad-libbed.
Yep. The first chair joke is funnier than the second. When Random Task comes to pick up Mr. Bigglesworth...
Yes.
And then take Mr. Bigglesworth away, but he grabs Dr. Evil's arms and takes him with him.
Accidentally,
That's funny.
Yeah.
But kind of the second and the third, and probably the couple of times you see it in The Spy Who Shagged Me, are less funny.
Yes.
It loses its effect a bit. But it's still, Mike Myers is a very funny man, excluding The Love Guru.
Yes.
And so it is a very good movie, and it was very big at the time and everyone loved it.
It was the movie that when it came out...
1997.
I was 9.
Yes.
I don't know if I was racing to the cinemas to watch it. But, everybody wanted to go and see it.
No, you were too busy watching Return to Oz throwback to episode 2.
I was still having nightmares about Return to Oz.
You just completely put off movies for a year because there could be wheelies in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery.
Yeah.
Good movie, yes.
Good movie, yes.
Stands up.
Still enjoyable to watch it, however, 15 years later, nearly.
15?
20.
14.
24. Nearly. Shit, we're
24.
old.
Yeah, we skipped a whole decade. 2021 is 21 plus 3 years from 1997.
Yep.
Yep. So 24 years ago.
It does hold up. And like you said before,
does.
there's not much where you would go, oh, I don't think this joke would be written today.
And he could do another one now.
He could do an Austin Powers 4 if he had a kid.
If Harrison Ford is going to make a fifth Indiana Jones movie, then Mike Myers can make a fourth Austin Powers. Well, yeah. I think it'd be better received than the fifth Indiana Jones.
Well, the fourth one was terrible, so...
It wasn't terrible.
It was terrible.
It didn't fit with the first three.
It was bad.
Definitely. It wasn't... In Cate Blanchett's resume, it wasn't the greatest.
It would not be in her... It was one of those
IMDb.
movies where a serious actor or actress goes, "Oh, I need to make money. I'll do Mamma Mia."
That's what I think. That's what I think Mike Myers could do now, because he hasn't done much other than Bohemian Rhapsody.
He did actually stop making movies.
Yeah, we were saying that he had a sick
and
daughter.
It wasn't. We thought maybe it was just because The Love Guru was terrible.
Yeah,
but
there
it wasn't.
were family.
There
things.
was actually family issues there. So. Yeah.
He's back, and he came back in Bohemian Rhapsody with the worst line of the movie.
Terrible.
Totally unnecessary. I feel like Mike Myers might have been like, "Do you really want me to say this?"
If that was me, I would have been like, "That was 30 years ago. I don't want to call."
That was a sketch I did in SNL that became a movie. Do I really need to reference it in Bohemian Rhapsody now?
Yeah, and it kind of makes Bohemian Rhapsody kind of not great. It already had its own issues.
I think it was a very good movie.
It was a good movie, but we might talk about it later. It was carried by one acting performance and good music that they didn't write.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was Rami Malek and other things happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Rami Malek Queen.
Lip syncing.
I think he sung.
He didn't sing. Nobody can sing that.
No, he didn't.
Nobody could have sang Freddie Mercury.
Taron Egerton sung Elton John.
He did.
But Elton John, as good as he is, isn't Freddie Mercury.
No.
Yeah. Enough about Austin Powers?
Yeah. I think so. It's like everybody knows Austin Powers. You know, you get the jokes, "Oh, behave. Do I make you horny, baby?
Yep.
Shag now, shag later."
You can still wear Austin...
Swedish made penis and larger pumps.
Yep. One thing that you can tell if a movie still stands up, can you wear the main character's costume to a party?
Although if you did, you might come off looking like Elton John.
Yes.
Probably all comes down to the teeth.
No, the glasses. I think if you get the right glasses, and it's like a purple suit. I think if you rocked up with a purple suit, the right glasses, and he wears the man symbol.
Yes. With the frilly...
With a
puffy shirt and cravat.
Not a puffy shirt.
Cravat?
No, the cravat's what Matt Preston wears in MasterChef. MasterChef.
What's that thing called?
Ruffles. It's ruffles.
Yeah.
Then you would be Austin Powers. So that's a test of if a movie meets the cancel culture requirements of 2021.
Yeah, because I can't see in 10 years, I don't know how many more people would be dressing up as Borat for Halloween.
No. And Halloween's not always warm, so wearing a mankini in October is risky.
True.
Mind you,
wearing a mankini full stop is risky.
Yeah. But in terms of weather, I dressed as Astro Boy to a party at the start of July. In Australia, that's winter. There's a bug in here, I know.
There is a bug in here.
And we've probably just given away that we're recording 3 episodes in one day. All right, Austin Powers... tick for nostalgia.
Tick for nostalgia. Tick for stands up. Tick for didn't give me any childhood trauma like the Return to Oz did.
But the one with Beyonce's better.
Yep.
Watch Austin Powers. DM us, tweet us, mention us on the Facebook and the Instagram to let us know what you think of Austin Powers.